If you've been around South Bend and baseball long enough, you've heard the name Reinebold a lot over the years. From Jim Reinebold, a longtime coach at Clay High School, who still runs a fall camp for high school kids, to his son Joel, who coached alongside his father, then at Bremen, Adams, and Penn, and is now the head groundskeeper for the South Bend Silverhawks and part owner of the School of Hard Knocks. You could say baseball is part of the Reinebold genetic makeup, and it's a passion that took Joel this week to Jamaica to share his love for the game with kids who otherwise might never get the chance to play. Tonight, just before 6, he talks about his love of the game and a nonprofit he and others have formed so that underprivileged kids both in Jamaica and here at home can round the bases with the best of them. As he works the grounds at Coveleski Stadium, where he is head groundskeeper, Joel Reinebold thinks about that day last August when he was thinking about where he wanted to go for his Christmas vacation. Jamaica came to mind, but he also wondered whether he could combine a little R&R with his favorite pastime, baseball.
So I went online and found an organization that's trying to start baseball up there, and I got in touch with them, and next thing I know, day after Christmas, I'm walking their field, if you want to call it that.
And from the video Joel provided us of that field outside Little London, you get the idea.
To be honest, it was more like a goat pasture than a baseball field. There were wrens in the outfield eating. There was goat walking across the outfield. The backstop was about knee-high, and they actually didn't even have bases out there.
Reinebold returned to Jamaica in March and was asked to put together a team of athletes 12 and under to compete in the Latin American playoffs in July.
They're going to be going up against guys from Puerto Rico, Curacao, Aruba, the Dominican. So they're in some pretty tough competition. And they took me to an area outside in the grill called Little London, and I got a chance to see some of the kids actually play. And their athletic ability is outstanding. But
they were playing without the fancy bats, cleats, and uniforms kids in the U.S. are used to.
Kids were playing barefoot because a lot of them had one pair of shoes. They took off their shoes so it didn't ruin the shoes and went out on the field and played. I had brought down about a dozen gloves and gave them to them. They had painted four rocks white, so they had something to use as bases.
Reinebold knew in order to make an impact, he would need to create a foundation, which he, along with former Silverhawks general manager John Baxter, TJ Woolover, and Brian Grupp did. It's called Rounding Third.
Rounding Third is basically a nonprofit that we put together to, like I said, try to help whoever wants to improve their baseball situation, whether it be working on their fields or try to get them supplies or teaching them or coaching them, holding clinics or whatever.
Reinebold is working this week on hitting and outfielding. Woolover is the pitching coach, and Grupp handles the catchers. For Woolover, now assistant groundskeeper at the Cove, who has played pro ball but nursed a number of injuries, it's a way to give back to a game that's been good to him.
And a great experience. You know, he's trying to explain to me, he's like, it's going to be different. These kids are running around playing baseball barefoot. They're throwing rocks instead of baseballs.
So why is it so important for Reinebold to bring baseball to Jamaica?
One, I love working with kids. That's one of the reasons why I went into coaching. And two, it's enjoyable to work with people who want to learn. Working with kids that want to learn, to see their smiles, it's a lot of fun.
So will he be there in July if his team advances to the Little League World Series?
Hope so, if I can put the funding together and do it. That would be the fun part, to put the finishing touches on everything and see how they do. I would love to go down there. It just all depends how it plays out. And the whole idea is to improve baseball not only just here, but other places too. And this is one of our first projects is Jamaica.
For now, with their new coaches in town, they're practicing on this soccer field.
If you build it, he will come.
But if Ray Kinsella could build a field of dreams and a fantasy drama film in Iowa, why can't Joel Reinebold and his foundation build one for underprivileged kids? Reinebold says he can't thank the Silverhawks enough for giving him and the others the time they need to get this project off the ground. He's hoping Rounding Third will also help kids in the Michiana area and other places who haven't been able to play ball. By the way, these trips he and the other coaches are taking are so far on their own dime. Joel messaged me today that these kids don't want a handout, they just want to help and play ball. And Grupp spent the day trying to figure out how to build a backstop and hitting net and painting lines on the field. If you'd like to make a donation of equipment or cash to the Rounding Third Foundation, we have a link for information on our website. Just click on this story.